they should pay the price. And that's the thing that's really I'm really disturbed by. It's like, yeah, we should get Trump. Yep, absolutely. But we should go after those other people as
Well, I
well.
don't know what did Ted Cruz do that.
Oh, with the election.
Yeah, that'd be Mars. Like, the fuck, really? What? I don't get. Why would you single out Ted Cruz? That seems odd to me. Of all people, why Ted Cruz? You could have gone right to candy. I gave you the out. I was like, y'all could have candy right now. Something sweet and succulent. Said we're doing this. We're going to be doing this whole thing. But he's changed now. He's a different man. Apparently Spotify has calmed him a little bit. They've calmed him down, if you were. It's kind of like how Donald Trump got calmed down a little bit with this little fiasco. So let's see. Let's see what Joe Rogan has to say. What will happen to Trump after storming the Capitol? But Mr. Joe Rogan.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I mean, this recent thing where those folks went to the Capitol when they were standing up on his behalf, and then he throws them under the bus.
Yeah, he threw them all under the bus after it was over. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now,
I watched a video of it. I had not seen much video of it.
Yeah.
I'd only seen...
He didn't really throw them under the bus at the start. He said, "We love you, and you're all very special." That's a message for the traitors and the insurgents. We love you. You're all very special. Now go home, get some rest. Trumpy's gonna bring you some milk.
Seen like a couple of videos on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't want to get depressed and watch it, but today I said, let's get depressed. And I watched a bunch of it. I had no idea how bad it was.
Yeah.
In terms of like the sheer number of people like storming the gates and screaming, and these small handful of cops that were supposed to protect it.
Yep.
And that one cop that got beaten.
Yep.
There's like a video of them hitting the cop with flags and shit.
Yep.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, what? How did that happen? How did it deteriorate to that?
I know, man. It's really sad to me that kind of thing happened, and then you have these fucking cowards, Rudy Giuliani, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, all of these cowards. They are allowed to stand on their pulpit and say these things like they're tough, but they're nowhere around to support these folks in the first place, and they're sending them into the battle, and now they will comfortably join the ranks of their members of Congress, while these other people are going to go to jail and have these charges, which they should have, of course, but these leaders who manipulated them, there's no consequences to them. I mean, I think that's the real crime.
Yeah, well, we'll see if there's consequences, because I have a feeling there will be.
Oh, by the way, Joe, how many people have you had on in the past month who talk about conspiracy theories? Who talk about that the election was stolen? You can't sit here all calm and zen-like, thinking that maybe you're the Buddha, and all of a sudden being like, yeah, no, you're right. This is wild. How could they have been driven to do such things? Where would they even get that idea? It's bizarre.
For Trump, I think this is going to be the end. I really do, because I think there's very little chance that he's going to run in 2024 after this, because a lot of people were hoping for that. A lot of his supporters were hoping for that. But after this, I don't even think.
Yeah, I think the useful idiot is done. I mean, I think like the people like Mitch McConnell and those people, they don't have no more use for him, so he's done. Yeah. I mean, he's done enough for them. They're happy with what he's done. He's delivered with the Supreme Court and so forth. His time is over.
It's interesting to see, we've always known that there's a certain faction of this country that's fairly simple, like not that sophisticated, not very smart, and they like thinking in like a real narrow box. And this guy came along and was their guy, and then we realized like the assholes of this country were unrepresented, and now all of a sudden they got represented. Like there was a lot of people, like a lot of those folks that stormed the castle, that stormed Capitol Hill. Like if you see like when they get arrested and you find out who they are, like guy living with his mom, believing QAnon conspiracies, thinks the FBI is sending out pedophile codes, that kind of shit. Like those guys didn't have a king before. You realize how many of them there are.
But what about the guy who was, I don't know, a retired lieutenant colonel from the Army or the Air Force? I mean, so there are people there who also had...
Like, This is great because it's pushing back on every time Joe Rogan's just like completely off base. Yeah, I wonder how many of them were Joe Rogan fans, to be totally honest.
Education, and they were plugged into society, right? There were a number of those.
There was one of them was the son of a prominent Brooklyn judge. There were people who flew there on private jets. There were tons of people who were like small business owners. So many of them were small business owners. I mean, that was like a cross section. It wasn't like just the working class rising up, you know?
Those people too, right?
I'm sure there was a few. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think most of us are simple people, and that's okay. I think you should be able to be simple and have a decent life and enjoy yourself. I think that there's no crime there. I think that's fine. The real problem is that we allow our leaders to lie, and then you can manipulate. Even the most sophisticated among us can be manipulated. And I think that's the real crime. So it's like, not that these people were simple. It's okay to be simple.
Maybe simple's the wrong word. Maybe assholes was the right word. There's a lot of people that are assholes.
Oh, this
and
is
there was
true.
never a guy who said it's okay to be an asshole, but I'm an asshole too.
Is that honestly your like analysis of all this, or is this just you stoned out of your gourd right now? Like, that's not how this all went down. Like, especially the indoctrination of the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys, whose founder, by the way, Gavin McInnes, Joe Rogan platformed multiple times. Normalized multiple times. It was that episode with Gavin McInnes where they're sitting across from each other and Gavin McInnes starts spouting the most racist conspiracy theories and Joe Rogan just starts accepting them. That, like, what was it? I can't remember what he said. People who live in Britain who come from like Pakistani families are unbelievably inbred, and that's why they talk like this and all this other shit. And you're like, holy fuck, Gavin McInnes is racist as shit. What is he doing on here? Why is Joe Rogan talking to him? Like, even if this is a bit, it's a horribly racist bit. That doesn't change anything.
Do you think that the majority of these people were assholes?
I think they could be assholes if they were led the right way.
But can't most of us be assholes? I think.
At the worst moments of your life, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, I think that
they were just led astray. It's almost as if they were told on some kind of platform. I don't know, a cast, if you will, that like reaches people in pods. And there was a lot of people who were able to hear these ideas that they're assholes.
When you have, I'm telling you, man, I'm putting this square on those people in Washington. Trump is one of them, of course, but I'm talking about the Ted Cruzes and all of those people as well.
Fuck yes.
I mean, those people,
the Joe Rogans,
they should face the criminal justice system for what
Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro,
because these folks who are out here, we all have the potential to be assholes. And then if you think that what you're doing is holding up the liberty that we promise in this country, that you are being a real patriot, and you really believe that you've been manipulated to do that by these leaders, they should pay the price. And that's the thing that's really I'm really disturbed by. It's like, yeah, we should get Trump, yep, absolutely, but we should go after those other people as well.
I don't know what did Ted Cruz do that.
With the election.
Yeah, that'd be Mars. Like, the fuck, really? What? I don't get, why would you single out Ted Cruz? That seems odd to me. Of all people, why Ted Cruz?
Were you saying that they're election fraud?
Election fraud, when he knew what
hey,
time
thanks,
it
Ramses.
was. Those guys, they know they were being dishonest.
I think it's a political ploy, right? Politicians take stances based on where they think their constituents lean. And, Stop the Steal and all that was trending on all these social media sites.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a prominent politician that's a manipulative person that looks at these things and goes, that's an angle that I can use.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Joe. That's exactly what politicians do. And we should expect more of them. And until we do, they're going to continue to do that bullshit when they know that is bullshit. And so you're right. That's what politicians do.
So do you think? So what do you think they were trying to do? You think just posturing to try to get those people on their side for the future?
That's right. I think that Ted Cruz and those folks were setting themselves up for a future presidential run or what have you, and hoping that they get Trump, the kingmaker.
Has he had a non-based take this entire interview? I think it's going to be a flawless victory by the time this is done.
To endorse them, even though
Dr. Carl Hart,
Trump called his wife
war
ugly.
activist.
I would have
addiction
beat Trump's
specialist.
ass. I mean,
yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, it's like, what kind of man allows that to
They
happen?
call him Lion Ted.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but what kind of man allows another guy to call his wife ugly and not do anything?
Didn't he also infer that he
Carl
was a
was
serial
awesome.
killer or something? That his dad,
His dad,
Zodiac killer. That's
yeah,
right.
his dad helped kill Kennedy or something. He said, yeah. But what kind of man does that? I mean,
Yeah.
allows that. I mean, I don't understand that.
Well, what kind of man wants to be a senator? You know, it's a weird business. And you get deeply entrenched in that business, and there's compromises that you make, and a lot of weirdness.
I understand, but like, what kind of person want to be president? That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, but I'm glad there are people that do it. And the thing is, I think we should require them to be more honorable than we do.
We certainly should.
And so, like, when people are posturing politically, when they know that there's no chance that this election can be overturned because there's no fraud, I think they should pay a price. I think that is just too manipulative, and I think their position requires that they be more honest. And until we require them this of them, then I think that they will continue.
I think there's a style of behavior that
think
lends
so,
itself to
is.
success, like
Appreciate
business
that.
success and financial success, and it's like a speed style, like people that are into amphetamines and people that are into like getting ahead and pushing, and I think that there's a style of behavior that leads itself to be compassionate, thinking more about community, and I think
ramped
that
up.
is more like a marijuana style or a mushroom style.
You think
And I
so?
think- yeah.
Is this wow? Okay, I would have made a joke that Joe Rogan's political compass, if you were to look at it, it's based on drugs. The whole thing would be drugs, right? I'm guessing the authoritarian up in the corner here. This is probably like your crystal meth. You got your crystal meth, and then down here it could be your old-fashioned like speed. Maybe some PCP would be over here. Then once we get around there, maybe we're getting a little bit to like weed. We could be a little bit more centrist, or maybe alcohol could be centrist because alcohol appeals to all the parties. Then down here is like it's the weed. Down here, oh, it's chill. Yeah, it's just weed and some mushrooms too, man. Everything's going good. And then as we go up here, maybe a little bit of acid. And then oh no, as we're going higher, oh shit, he's throwing. The crystal meth's been reintroduced, and then we got the authoritarian left all the way at the corner. Okay, there it is. That's it. That's the political compass based on drugs. Oh, where would MDMA be? That's an odd one. MDMA and cocaine. Those would be hard to place. Gotta think about this one more. I think we can do this though. We can figure out the entire political chart based on drugs alone.
If you want us to advertise your channel or work, please go to weareserfs.com and email us a 20 to 30 second ad, and we'll take it on to the end of one of our videos to help promote your leftist channel or progressive something. Whatever you do.
To our gods, I'm Raph, Xander Corvus, and Schlatsky, we shall build golden idols in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, you have our undying fealty. To our lords, Jeffrey Lamb, Trevor R., Hans Josephin, C. Bartlett, Jimothy K. Meeple Beeps Jr., Bisexual Black Gamer, and Trofox, we shall carry your banners onto the battlefield. To our Knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byte, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Political Puppy, Jimmy Bignuts, Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, Dr. Zayas, Yoppie, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Thomas Barrington, J. Fraser Cartwright, Goofalankius, Melissa Murphy, Nicholas Marks, Alexander Thaler, Ali Rada Jafer, Alex Gauvin, Radical Maniac, The Great Houdini, and Callie Kotka. We salute you.